Okay, it's official. We have new wheels and tires on the 2025 Toyota Tacoma TRD Sport. If you missed it, or you're just kicking in on this video, I did trade the off-road for the Sport. Love this so much better. There are videos discussing why earlier. Anyway, just got back from Discount Tire, got the emblems on the side of the truck, so of course it's official now. But anyway, we're not here to talk about those. We're here to talk about these. These are obviously BF Goodrich all-terrain. These are the KO3s, which is the latest iteration, if you will, of the BF Goodrich KO series, I guess. Previous was KO2. What I went with, these are a 275/70 R18. I decided to stay with 18s. For a while, I did kick around going with 17s, but I decided we'll stay with what we have. And I'll be honest, some of this brake line issue is part of the reason to keep the wheels a little bigger, because I don't know if I have that problem or not. I don't think Toyota knows. But anyway, we replaced the tires. I did get some wheel poke with the wheel setup. You guys can see it's obviously not as severe as what I had in the previous truck. There's the front. And looking down the back, I did want right about what I got with this. This is a great setup. I could have gone with maybe, personally, a ½ inch or so more, maybe, but I don't think that's really necessary. This gives me a little bit of wheel poke out of the back of the truck, and I think it just gives the truck a bit of a tougher stance. Now, as far as the wheels go, and I'm going to give you guys pricing and all the specs and that stuff, because I know you're going to want to know it. I went with American Outlaw. I went with these because, well, two reasons. One, Discount Tire was having an okay sale on them. And two, I like the looks of them. I think they look sharp on the truck. They're black. For about 2 seconds, I toyed with going bronze on the wheels, but I decided since I was going to go white letters out, that's right, let's bring back the 80s, baby. White letters out, I thought that'd be too much. You got a black wheel, white letters, chrome wheels, and I just thought that was too much. I think this is a pretty good setup. So, what did I get to achieve this look, I suppose? I looked at many setups out there. I asked many questions from you guys, and I went with what you see there. First of all, they are American Outlaw Spike is what they're called. They're 18 by 8.5. If you're wondering what the lug nut setup is, I guess, it's a 6-139.7. These wheels were, I believe, $198 a piece, but they have a sale going on. I think it ends today. $80 off. So, I saved a little bit of money. What, $20 a wheel, so $178 a wheel. The offset on these wheels, and this is how you achieve that little bit of poke. The offset is 25. Now, the stock offset, the wheels that I took off, the TRD wheels, was 55. And what that does is yield a wheel poke, if you will, of 1.38 inches. In other words, the tires stick out 1.38 inches further than what stock was. And that's a pretty good number. I think if you shoot for somewhere around that, 1.38 and maybe 1.5 or 1.75, you've got a pretty good looking setup, I think anyway. Let's move on. The tires themselves, they are the KO2s or 3s, got to get used to that. They're a 275/70 R18, as I mentioned. They were $341 a piece. However, there was a sale there as well. $20 off per tire. So that makes them, what, $321 each. Not cheap, not cheap. I went with these over the Falcon Wild Peak AT4Ws. You know, I've always been a fan of the Wild Peaks, the 3Ws. Because I saw better reviews on these as far as gripping and comfort and quietness and all that kind of stuff, sound. So I decided to try these out. We'll see. If I don't like them down the road, I'll go back to I may try the Falcons anyway. We'll see. As far as the tire size, what was on the truck was a 265/65/18. As I mentioned, I went with a 275/70/18. The difference is 1.6 inches in height. You have to divide that by 2, so in essence I lifted the truck, if you will, by 0.8 inches. We're going to call that 1 inch. So I got a 1-inch lift, basically, by going to this taller tire. Now, would I go with anything taller than this? Probably not. I got to be honest, when I looked at the offset compared to the wheel space, and you always have to be concerned in the front about rubbing, right? When you turn the wheel, you're about this far or so away from the interior edge here. Same thing in the front. When I turn the wheel in or out, the edge of the tire is about this far away. Now, will it rub? I don't think so. However, if you're articulating a lot, you know, if you do a lot of off-roading and you're hitting a lot of ruts and maybe stones and trees and things, I could see how it could potentially rub, because you only have about this much right there clearance. So anybody that says that you can go more, maybe in a straight line, I mean, I could probably put 35s on here and go in a straight line, but as soon as you turn, that's when you're going to have the issue, right? So let's talk about final price. I also got the lug nut kit because I wanted black lug nuts. Cost of that was probably, let's see, it was 65 bucks. So to get the lug nuts, and by the way, if anybody wants to know, I know a lot of people have asked, what size are the lug nuts? This says 14 by 1.5 SD, 2.16 CL BK8L. So if that means anything to you, it means nothing to me, but that's the size of the lug nuts, I guess. As far as pricing goes, out the door, the cost of this whole thing was $2379.08, I believe was the total cost. So about 2,300 bucks. Now, I did sell them my tires, 300 bucks for those. I kept the wheels, which are in the American Outlaw boxes, and the lug nuts. Hopefully I can sell the wheels for, I'm guessing somewhere around 400 bucks, we'll see. So out the door, I guess, with the sale of the wheels, my cost on this is about $1,900, something like that. Not too bad for a whole new setup, I don't think. Anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know that's all the information I have. Hopefully it's enough. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think too. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.